Okay, the first thing you have to pay is nezek, damage. So this doesn't mean damage. I mean, since we're not talking about uh, an item, we're talking about a person. So what does nezek in this case mean? Because you're not damaging anything, you're damaging a person. So what this means as you evaluate. So let's say he was a surgeon. We evaluate his value before the damage and what he was worth in a slave market before the damage and what is he's worth in the slave market now. So before, because he was a surgeon, then his value might have been, I don't know, whatever, one price. And now that he used to be a surgeon, now he doesn't even have an arm. Now he doesn't even have an arm, let's say. Then his value in the slave market went way down. So we evaluate what the difference in the slave market was, and you pay for that. Now you don't pay for, oh, he was a surgeon, now he could have been paid his rest of the life, oh, a much better salary. Now no, you don't pay for the future salary. You just pay what the person is worth, what like his the value that the person went down. So you pay for the value that the person went down. The next category is sheves. So this is coming from the word of rest, right? This is compensation for unemployment. Compensation. Now, this does not mean that, let's say he was a surgeon, now you pay for his unemployment as a surgeon while he cannot work. That's not what it means. Unemployment compensation, in this case, is the lowest rate of employment. What that's worth, you pay for that while he's in rest, while he's recovering, until he can find a job. So while he's resting and recovering, then you pay the lowest wage, meaning the minimum wage, you pay him while he's recovering. So this just means minimum wage compensation while he's recovering. The next one is ripui, like refuah. So this is just the medical bills. So pretty self-explanatory. All the medical bills he has to pay for. Next one is boshes, which means embarrassment. So for embarrassment, the Beis Din has a way of calculating it. So I don't really know the way of calculating it. But for boshes, it depends on the case. So this is why I was saying before that you might not have to pay for all 5 categories, because maybe in your case the boshes doesn't apply. For example, if you let me think. If you hurt someone with high status, right, and you're on a low status, so for example, a student hurts the principal, then the principal is embarrassed because now his respect has lowered. Nobody has respect for him because he was like bullied by a student, so he has no respect now. So he had embarrassment from the incident. So you have to pay for that embarrassment. Now, if you, I mean, it sounds a little cruel, but if you, let's say, damage a homeless man, the homeless man has no embarrassment because nobody even knows him. So since the homeless guy, nobody knows the homeless guy, it doesn't matter if he was like he can barely be embarrassed. Yes, maybe a little bit. So you would have to pay very little for that. So that's what I'm saying, that it depends on the case how much you would have to pay for that category. And the last one is tsar. tsar coming from the word of pain, right? Like uncomfortableness, pain, same thing. So pain means the maximum amount that you would pay to get that pain out. Meaning, I'll give an example. So let's say, right, somebody was stabbed, right? If they were stabbed, not for the pain of, I don't know, the surgery or whatever, the pain of the actual stabbing, right? Let's say you're like, would you pay $1 to get the stab out to stop the pain? Yes. You would pay $2? Yes. Wait, so the maximum amount. So maybe somebody wouldn't pay $100,000 to get the pain out. So whenever it turns to no, I wouldn't pay that amount. So that amount you would have to pay. So let's say he's like, okay, I would pay $500 to get the pain out, but then anything more than that, I'd rather get the pain, right? He can't pay any more than $500. So then the person that did the stabbing would have to pay $500 for the pain, because he would pay $500 to get the pain out, or to not experience that pain. Now, obviously, it would be way more than 500, I assume, unless the guy was poor or something. But oh wait, no, tsar, I'm pretty sure, actually it doesn't even matter if the guy was poor, because tsar is the maximum amount you would pay to get the pain out, but not that. But this tsar is the only one that doesn't really depend on the case. I mean, it depends on the case because it depends if you stabbed or whatever, or the damage was. But if there's two stabbing cases, you pay the same amount, because tsar actually does not depend on what the actual victim would pay. This depends on a general evaluation. I don't really know how they evaluate this, but it's more of a general thing. So how much would a normal person pay to get the pain out, or maximum amount they would pay to get the payment? So this is amount a normal so a normal person, so not the person, but a normal person, so meaning like just a general, so general. So this is the only category that is general. So so damage, sheves, ripoy, and boshes are all depending on the actual victim, but tsar is the only one that is general. Tsar is general. Alright, and that's it. And if you and I'll review the Gemara in the next video.